Hello and welcome. Today I'm having a look at Nuclear Winter, the new Battle Royale mode for Fallout 76. And let me just start off by saying that I'm not a big Battle Royale person. I'm not a big fan of them. I played PUBG when it first came out. I haven't touched Fortnite or any of the others really that much. But this is actually enjoyable. It's quite a fun game play mode. It is what you would expect from a Battle Royale in Fallout, really. And I'll be honest, I've seen quite a lot of good reviews for this. A lot of people are very impressed with it. I think it's because it's got that PvP that Fallout 76 was meant to be about. Fallout 76 was meant to have PvP in it. They kind of did it so that, you know, you're all surviving out there. You could befriend people or you could gun them down. Problem was that it was woefully unfair because someone gets lucky on a god roll item and they can just insta-kill you in one shot. There isn't really much of that in this. And it's simply because, as you can see here, I'm picking my perks, I'm having a look at what I've got. You have a limited set of perks. Essentially you're starting over in terms of perks. You start off at a new kind of leveling system. I'm Overseer level 1. And then, well, actually Overseer level 0, and then you level up through the Overseer levels. And you can get different perks. Every time you level up you get a perk pack that has one perk in it that you can equip. And you go in with no weapons, no armor, and it's all randomized. You find it, you don't mod stuff. So it's a lot fairer. I haven't really seen any legendary weapons or armor yet. I might have just been unlucky. But a lot of it is just, you find some weapons, you find some armor, and then it's you versus them, and it's not that they've got a massively overpowered build compared to you, really. Yeah, they might have some slight advantages, you might have some slight advantages depending on what perks you've equipped, but overall it's a lot fairer in terms of PvP for Fallout 76. Now when you do load in, you can see it was a different game mode that I chose. You load in, then you just kind of walk around inside Vault 51. This is essentially the lobby. You can't do this solo. You have to do it with a team of 4. I do believe if you party up with someone before going in, you can manage to get in with like a team of 2 or 3 or something. But honestly, I mean, it makes more sense to be in a team of 4. If every other player is going to be in a team of 4, it makes sense to be in a team of 4. Now, you don't have to actually be around your teammates or anything. You'll see in a moment when we actually go to load in that you get to choose where you go, so you don't have to go with your teammates. And as always, this place is literally just people running around, punching each other. There are different areas you can go to. A lot of it's barred off. There are a lot of terminals that you have to be different levels for. And you can see here, what you do to actually go in is you get given this map when everyone's loaded in. And you can choose where to go. It will show you where your teammates are going. Just for this, I went where my teammates were going as well. This is the full map of the location, and then you just load in there. There's no jumping out of an aeroplane or anything like that, so you don't have to worry about that. And you just kind of load in. You can see there, like I said, someone's actually from our team gone somewhere else. And then, as you can see, just before you go in, it actually shows you where everyone else is going. So you can kind of get an idea of if you're going to be in a firefight immediately. So it's quite good for that. I like the fact that you are told, essentially, if you're about to be gunned down. But then, 30 seconds, a minute in, you get that same feeling of, I knew where everyone was, but now I have no idea. Someone might be coming up behind me. Someone might be in front of me. I don't really know. It's got that kind of feeling still in the game because you don't know what's going on. There's a lot of different items as well you can get. So crafting, like defensive items, you actually like pick those up. They're items that are inside chests. and then you can just throw those down. So like turrets and stuff, they just got put on your favorite bar if you picked one up, and then you can just throw down a turret or a wall, and it's quite good for quickly building a defensive position, really. What you can also do is you can put your camp down. Everything is free from your camp, like it doesn't cost any resources, but you can't build any like defensive items. Like I said, they're all items that you have to pick up. See here, I was actually quite lucky. I immediately got a suit of power armor here. So there is power armor. It's not OP. It does break fairly quickly, to be honest with you, which makes sense because you're not going to be wearing it for that long because the matches don't last forever. There are all sorts of bits and pieces scattered all over the place. You get like bottle caps, bobbleheads, different weapons. I mean, there's all sorts of different weapons you can get. I mean, you can go for a set build with the perks, but you do have to then actually find a weapon that would work with those perks. For example, right now I have a crossbow. I don't really ever use the crossbow, like I don't think anyone else really ever does, but now I've just got a combat sniper rifle, and that's more my kind of speed. And you can see on the right there's some of the other new items. You can see on that it's showing the briefcase. You can get nukes, which will, you just get a briefcase, you can drop it down and it will launch a nuke there. I've seen quite a few people who've got them and saved them until the ring was very small, and then thrown them down just to make a stalemate essentially and kill off everybody. One of the things as well, it doesn't look like a lot of people are communicating in this at the minute. It's a lot of using the emotes. It would be nice if they put something in with kind of like an indicator, like you could point at something, press a button, and it highlights it for your team. Just be a nice like quality of life bit, to be honest with you. Another thing as well that would be a nice little improvement is if at the end of the match you've got the option to stay with your team, because at the minute it kind of just throws you out back to the main menu, which, like, if you just playing with some randoms and you found you quite like playing with these randoms, it should, I'd like it if it gave you the option to stick with them rather than just constantly playing with random sets of people. If you find some people you're getting along with, it just kind of, it's a better like sense of community, really, because you can start getting along with some people really well and then they might disappear and you never see them again. Or you could play a few matches and then you might play again with that person. Again, it's just one of those little things. Now, as I mentioned earlier with a ring, this does work the same way all Battle Royales do. It's going to force you into a smaller area. The way that it does that is it literally sets fire to the surrounding area, and it's just a giant ring of fire that's slowly enclosing on you. It's a nice set piece. Like I say, there's a lot of just burning, getting closer to you. Kind of creates that sense of urgency from like a forest fire. You're trying to run away from that whilst also trying to deal with all the people as well that you're slowly getting closer to. You can see we've got the indicator there for the fact that the ring is moving to its next position. You can have a look at the map, can see where that position is. So seeing that, we're going to actually head towards that other player who was a bit further away from us just because they seem to have got it right and actually be quite close to the centre of that circle. Just going to head on down there. Now, like I say, it's a very fun game mode. It is going to take a lot of grinding if you want the stuff from it. Having a look through some of the terminals and stuff, like I said earlier, there are locked gates, there are locked terminals. I've seen some that are like level 106 that you have to be to get to them. Probably even higher levels, I just haven't seen them. And leveling isn't ridiculously fast or anything like that. It's quite a slow pace depending on, well, it's dependent on like how many kills you get really, how many people you killed, that kind of thing. So dependent on how your matches go, this could take an awful long time for you to actually level up. But like I say, it's a very fun game mode, so if you do play it, and I would recommend giving it a go, even if you like you didn't enjoy survival or anything like that. This is more of a level playing field, so I think it's a lot more enjoyable. And like I say, it's up for a week at the minute, so you may as well try giving it a go and see what you think about it. I've seen Bethesda has been quite active on the Reddit for Fallout 76 at the minute, commenting on a lot of the threads that are giving them like tips and things that they could improve on. I've seen they've been quite active recently in comparison to last couple of months, saying they're gonna feed this back and things like that. So potentially, like I say, give it a go, see how it goes, and then maybe it'll get fed back and maybe there'll be improvements made. Because like I say, it's not perfect, but it's a pre-alpha at the minute. We're getting a taste of what the next expansion is going to be like, the next DLC, which is called Nuclear Winter, and this game mode is Nuclear Winter, but this isn't all that's going to be in it. This isn't like just the roadmap. Same way that it was with the last one, there's going to be a lot of other bits and pieces that get introduced. For example, raids are getting introduced, but Nuclear Winter is a big part of that, and from the looks of it, it is very fleshed out at the minute. So I can see this going down very well when it fully releases. In fact, I think the biggest outcry is going to be when they remove this after a week and everyone starts complaining that it's gone. To be honest with you. So how are you guys all finding Nuclear Winter? Are you guys enjoying it? Do you think there are improvements to be made? What improvements do you think need to be made? Let me know down in the comments. And again, if you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like and subscribe.